Hi, my name is Laura, and I'm a metal detectorist. I run the website geekybeach.com, where I share photos and stories about my adventures in metal detecting and the lost item recovery that I do for other people. And I was thinking it would be great to share some video stories about the questions that I get asked all the time. People will stop me while I'm detecting and ask, "What's the best thing I've ever found? If I find a Rolex, it must be theirs." And other questions like, "How did I get started in metal detecting? What is it that brought me to the hobby?" And so I thought that's maybe a good place to start. What's my foundation for metal detecting? When I'm out there and they ask me, my immediate answer, the short answer is I've been detecting since I was a kid. I got started when I was a kid. And that's true. I started back when I was about maybe 9 or 10 years old. My dad got a metal detector from his mom, my grandma. And I remember him bringing this out from the garage. My sister and I were in the front yard, and he showed us it looked like a frisbee on a stick with a control box that looked like something out of Ghostbusters. It was just this really funny looking device. And then he showed us when you move it over the ground in a certain way, it makes these crazy beeping sounds. And that means, hey, you're standing over something buried in the yard. That really, that lit up my brain. I was really interested in ancient times and ancient Egypt. And so it really felt like, wow, there's this opportunity to find history in my own front yard. And so I remember my sister and I staying out there for hours, finding new spots, digging up the yard. We found all kinds of things, old cans, old steel bits of maybe tractors, who knows what, bullet shell casings, coins. There was just a bunch of stuff buried in that yard. And I kept this big kind of plastic segmented tray with all of my different finds, sorted into their different compartments. And of course, I still do that today. So that was the start of it, just being introduced to it by my dad and having that opportunity to find things in my own front yard. That was amazing. There was one day when we went down to kind of a runoff that led to a creek. And in that one spot, we found 3 coins, a pocket spill, right? My first pocket spill. And it contained a mercury dime, a steel penny, and a wheat penny. And, those looked pretty exotic, right? I'd never seen a mercury dime, hadn't encountered that before. And that's one of the first things I found. And I remember just being so fascinated. Wow, these old coins look so different than they do today. What a cool coin. And why does it look so clean, even though it's been buried in the yard? So that was the first kind of major find for me that really got me hooked in metal detecting. And metal detecting's been with me since then in various ways. I haven't been consistently doing it throughout my entire, young adult life. But I come back to it, right? I got myself a bounty hunter machine when I was just out of college and started looking in parks and beaches. And then it really changed for me once I started doing recoveries. So when the first person to ask me, "Hey, I lost this object on the beach. Can you help me find it?" Boy, helping them and retrieving that first object was the hook for me to realize, this is something I can do forever, and it's so rewarding. So it really fulfills that treasure hunting side of me all the way back to when I was a kid, feeling a little bit like Indiana Jones or something. So metal detecting has been with me ever since then, ever since my first detector, which I have right here. And this is the Treasure Sensor 4000. It's got these readouts like the intensity and the different knobs that you can adjust. But it's pretty basic. It's powered by alkaline batteries in the back. It's pretty thick and heavy once you get going with it. But this is it, the Treasure Sensor 4000. And I'll put some video in here of what it sounds like. It's got a unique tone compared to, modern detectors. I love this thing. I cherish it. I still use it sometimes when I can just for fun. And, that's my first detector. That's how I got started. I'm sure there's a lot of you who have similar stories. I'd love to hear that. leave a comment below. And what other questions do you have for me? What other stories about metal detecting would you like to ask and have a conversation about? I hope you'll subscribe, tune in for the next one, where we'll talk about what's the best thing I've ever found. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.